You had mentioned our solar system used to have two suns. Can you please elaborate on this? I mean, like, where did this other sun go?
It turned in what you consider now a planet. We believe it's either Jupiter or Saturn, most likely the Jupiter.
Hmm. When did this?
So, the moons around the planet, yes, could also be considered planets. It's its own solar system in the solar system, right?
I see.
However, the revolution has changed. Planets were rotating more like what we would pick up as an infinity symbol shape, yes?
Uh-huh.
The shape that we recommended you also to draw in the terms of seeking brain hemispheres.
So, what caused this other sun to turn into Jupiter? I mean, did it just get old and die out?
You could call it such. It didn't die, transmuted, transformed. There are some cataclysms, but as you're familiar, on a higher level, everything happens for a reason. So, of course, somebody all falls down the stairs because they're old and can't walk properly anymore and break their neck. You could say they died from an accident, but also they kind of died of old age, yes? If you get the metaphor.
Right. When did this happen? Roughly. I know time is roughly.
Roughly billions of years ago, of course, yes.
How old is our current sun? Is it also like 4.5 billion years old, like we believe?
Likely older.
How old is Earth? Is it also like roughly the same age as the sun we have now?
No, it's much younger. At least its current shape. It has been terraformed. Other planets have crashed into it. Like it was called Tiamet by others earlier. Many alterations have happened to the planet, so it depends what you call Earth. Yes?
Uh-huh.
Just like your asteroid belt is pretty young, but the planet was there earlier is much older, but your planet Earth is also much younger than the sun. It wasn't always a part of your solar system, so to speak, but it goes long before it was ever inhabited, including by some of us, let alone some of your species. The sun is likely trillions of years old by your accounting, but remember, we're talking about one timeline here that you're asking, yes?
Right. So where was our planet Earth before it came to the solar system? That's very confusing to me. Can you share anything about its general history?
First and foremost, it was much bigger before somebody else crashed into it, yes?
Uh-huh.
So it was another planet, so to speak. This other planet was sucked in the solar system, as happens with many planets, and it was also in the process of being formed. But not necessarily by sentient life forms, but simply by other stellar bodies, by stellar attraction, by magnetic forces, etc. What you consider the forces of gravitation, gravitational pull, how usually planets are becoming either stationary or revolutionary.
So when did Earth become like the general, like when did it get the general volume that it has now?
A few 100 million years ago of what we perceive,
Did you say millions or billions?
millions.
You're saying the Earth is only a few 100 million years old?
Depends again what you call Earth. It changed its exact shape.
Huh. Interesting.
It was somewhat bigger in their shape. It was a different planet, so to speak, but still it was in one way the same planet, but it's been altered. Yes? So it depends when you would call it Earth. From our perspective, it's still the same planet, but it was altered. And the altered state is a few 100 million years old.
Did you say that it used to be Tiamet before it was split in two?
One turn from your own planet, and it wasn't split in two. It was crushed. Large part of it was split off, and then through the rotation and gravitational forces, it again became something like a round. It was not cut into pieces, so to speak. A large part was split off, crushed. That's why you could consider it another planet. Or not, depends on your perspective. You have to share the information with you. Depends what words you use to describe it. It's up to you.
Cool. Very cool. Now about the sun, are there any beings that live on the surface of the sun, like there are on Trizal's sun?
Yes, certain beings, but it's again not like they're walking around on the gas. They are in their dimension, and there are more fluid beings, yes? Gas-like beings themselves.
Are they able to like venture through space? Like, are they able to travel to Earth, or are they kind of stuck on the sun?
They can travel from one sun to the other. Things like you consider a solar flash, for example, would be such a travel.
So do they ever come to Earth?
Could happen. Would likely cause a cataclysm or...
Okay.
Those are not people. They don't have arms and legs, etc. They have more like a gas-like form.
Right. Is the sun alive, so to speak, in the way that Earth is sort of a conscious living
Certainly.
entity?
Yes, those beings in a way are the sun. Or a part of the consciousness of the sun itself.
Cool. All right, very awesome.
Yes,
Now,
the universe is a fascinating place.
yes, definitely.